Your cult boyfriend here, talking about Le Visiteurs du Soir today. 1942 Marcel Carné film starring Arletty of Children of Paradise, which is one of my favorite films. One of the best films ever made, which is why I have it displayed behind me at all times. Children of Paradise is one of the most astonishing works of art I've ever seen in my life. And Le Visiteur du Soir marks another opportunity to see Arletty being directed by Carny in similar poetic realism styles and stylings. Le Visiteur du Soir is mostly known for the conditions under which it was made, similar to Children of Paradise, although Children of Paradise was filmed in semi-secrecy. Le Visiteur du Soir was filmed during the German occupation of France, and it was released during the German occupation of France. And many like to view it allegorically as Le Visiteur du Soir. Its its English title is The Devil's Envoy. And it is about basically Satan's Satan's romantics, right? Two beautifully demonic people come to wreak havoc and heartbreak upon a medieval kingdom, and Satan himself shows up when one of his envoy, the male, falls in love with a beautiful young angelic and virginal girl, and the devil comes to set things straight by making it all go wild and crazy. People like to view it allegorically by saying that the devil is allegorical for Adolf Hitler, something that Carney would be shocked at. That was not his intention. Now, Carney's politics were leftist. I mean, he's been described as violently anti-fascist, whatever that means. But Carney, what he wanted to provide with the screenwriter Prévert, who also wrote Children of Paradise, he wrote Le Visiteur du Soir. They were a great team. They were trying to create escapism for the masses. Escapism during a very rough time. But the thing about Le Visiteur du Soir is that it's beautiful, and that it's incredible, that it's powerful, and it's romantically pessimistic, all while being sentimentally motivating and gratifying. It's a very interesting and complicated picture, but there's a very deep sense of cynicism and idea of rebellion to the piece. Now, this could be accidental, and Carney was not really devoted to, I don't know, lampooning or attacking the Nazis through his film. But people were determined to see it that way. The French public were determined to see it that way. They saw the everlasting and infinitely beating heart of France within the film. They saw France's illuminating spirit. They saw the resistance's perseverance. They saw the true French ethos within Le Visiteur du Soir. They looked for it and they found it. Carney tried to offer escapism, and what people ended up getting from the film was this soaring love letter to their united kind, to their spirit, to the French spirit specifically. But let me just speak outside of the context of how it was filmed for Le Visiteur du Soir. Yeah, it is very interesting for that, for the way that it was filmed, for how it was filmed, for who was looking over their shoulder, for all of the starving extras who were on set, for the fact that in order to film gigantic banquet scenes without extras and people of the crew stealing food all of the time, they had to kind of make it toxic so that no one would steal it. People were starving and supplies were low, linens were low, set pieces were abysmal, and yet they made something that I would call masterful. I want to get beyond that and just talk about Arletty, who I think is a pretty controversial figure. She's one of the most enigmatically and ineffably fucking beautifully sexy women I have ever seen. She's my new favorite girl. She's incredible, hypnotic. And in Le Visiteur du Soir and in Children of Paradise, well, in Children of Paradise, she is unbelievable. She speaks that part of you that blossoms simply because you're in her orbit. And whereas in Le Visiteur du Soir, she is evil to her core. She is demonic. She is positively giddy at her own complete narcissism and capacity for cruelty, all with a smile. She's incredible here. Like, she never turns. um she plays Dominique, and Gillet is her male companion. And while her male companion, played by Alain Cooney from La Dolce Vita, actually, it was nice seeing him. He was very good in this film. He ends up falling in love with a beautiful young girl. Arletty leads two men to their death, including one of them was Marcel Harand, who played one of my favorite characters in this film, Children of Paradise, the criminal, and he plays Renaud in Le Visitoire du Soir, and and Arletty gets him killed. Arletty is a controversial figure because she was found guilty of a very specific kind of treason, having sleeping with the enemy, having a sexual liaison with a Nazi officer, and she has this ridiculous quote. But she was found of betrayal of France as a collaborator because she fucked a Nazi. She said, "My heart is French, but my ass is international." What a psychopath. Um, what an insane human being. A very fascinating woman, incredibly talented. All you have to do is see a single image of her, but to see her in motion as Carney filmed her, who very clearly thought she was otherworldly in her presence, because she was, um, to be in her orbit, a part of you blossoms. Even as a viewer, a part of you just blossoms. She is so magnetic. She's more than electric. Like, I am buzzing just because I've seen her film. Like, I am buzzing just because Arletty looked into the camera and it was inadvertently at me. I am buzzing because Arletty is power. Powerful. Powerfully attractive and powerfully forceful on camera. Such a presence. And not a single moment of film has ever been wasted on Arletty. She's just difficult to talk about because of the whole, betraying your country to fuck a Nazi thing. So it ends up being difficult to talk about her, but I refuse to not mention the um, incredible Arletty. It would be dishonest of me not to tell you that Arletty makes this film and this film magical. I love her to death. She's incredible. Le Visitoire du Soir, it is fantastical and it is a fantasy. And yet, the poetic realism of the piece, it still has this romantic pessimism. But it is so sentimental in the sense that it's eternal. That love is eternal. That there is some triumphant feeling within the pessimism, because it's a tragedy. It's tragic. It's a tragedy, and yet it's a story of undying love. It's fascinating. I think that the lighting is incredible. I think that the photography is excellent. I think that the story is wild. The scene, it's all Arletty. Arletty, her moments in this film are breathtakingly good. When she and Cuny have a talk when it's just them, and they like reveal their true natures to each other. And by the way, Arletty is playing an androgynous person in this. She comes in dressed as a young man, as a young minstrel, and it causes these men to become attracted to what they think is a young boy. And she reveals herself to be this beautiful woman, just slightly, but it's just a slight reveal, but it makes all the reveal in the world. So she's an androgynous figure in here too, which just makes her a lot more sexy to me, to be honest. She's incredible. um when they have a scene where they reveal themselves to each other, and they're like screaming at each other and threatening each other, and she just smiles in his face and she's like, "Go ahead, break my heart, slit my throat, tell me you love me." It's insane. She's like emotionally tormenting this fucking kid, this guy, and like Alan Cooney Gilles is completely helpless. Arletty in this film, Dominique, is so cool. There's a deleted scene, I guess, of Arletty laughing at she causes Marcel Harand to be stabbed to death in a duel, um because she tells him not to wear like armor like chainmail, so he gets stabbed. And then the winner of that duel that was over Dominique was the father of the girl that CUNY's character is in love with, and she convinces the father to abandon the kingdom. There's a deleted scene where she drives the patriarch over a cliff and watches him just fall to his death, and she just laughs. Oh my god, if you could find that deleted footage, I would love to see it. If I could see Arletty laugh at the demise of an old man, that's cinema, baby. Le Visiteur du Soir is an incredible film. But to me, it's so incredible because it's what an audience chooses to see in a time of turmoil. It was This was filmed as a maybe as parable, but more as escapism, more as just an ironic tale of fantasy within the poetic realist styling is what it was going for. But people within this time of turmoil, within this time of German occupation, saw it, and they decided that they saw resistance, that they saw allegory, that they saw the heart of France. And, and how can you tell an audience they're wrong? Film is not just about the creation of the artifact, it's about how that artifact is engaged with by the public. And if the public decide to engage with your material and they tell you that your film is about resistance, resisting fascism, then that's what it's about. The thing is not simply the thing. The thing is often what is said of the thing. Or else, what the fuck is film criticism? Le Visitoire du Soir is absolutely fascinating. This is one of the best films ever made. This is nowhere close, but I will watch it again and again and again just to see Arletty be as villainous and sexy as possible. For Arletty in this film, she means so many different things. There's so many different parts of my personality which are embodied by each of her four main lovers in this film. Arletty, this is where you find the true heart of France, and actually the true heart of art in Children of Paradise. Le Visitoire du Soir, when you watch it so far removed from its circumstance, it I don't necessarily see the allegory for anti-fascism. What I see here is poetic realism. I see black comedy, and I see fatalistic irony. And by God, I see Arletty. I see Arletty and Marcel Carné. I see genius. It's masterful, of course, but this is the true masterpiece. I've been your cult boyfriend. Thanks for watching. Jules Berry was very good. He played the devil. Apparently, he signed up for so many roles. He was filming like 3 or 4 different films at the time he was filming Le Visitoire du Soir, and he didn't know his lines. But you can't tell watching the film. He is engaging as fuck. One of the best Arletty moments is when the devil first shows up, and she's like sitting there. She's no longer androgynous. She's dressed beautifully, ornately feminine, and she's sitting there like, interesting. Daddy's home. It's cool as fuck.